really happy that we actually made it to our 5th year anniversary. We decided to revamp a lot of our products this year. Socrates and Plato has been with us for a good 5 years. We had a good run. Now we actually revamped the 2 new models to replace the Socrates and Plato. Socrates has been replaced directly by Aristotle, while the Plato has been replaced by Euclid. So the Aristotle and Euclid utilizes our new tech. It's a lot thicker, it's 18 AWG, but it's still very, very ergonomic in terms of the flexibility of the cables and the wearability of the cable. Now they actually uses oil-infused technology where we actually have the core infused in oil. That increases the transmission speed and everything. Now we also have it in triple coaxial design where there's active shielding. And yeah, both of them has a very different kind of presentation. I think it will fit 2 profiles. Yeah, it's worth checking out this year at Eletech. So for the oil-infused technology, a lot of people think about oil as in a liquid oil, but our oil has been baked, it's dried up, so you think more about engine oil, that kind of thing. So people have been addressing concerns with me that, oh, what if the cable leaks oil? But that's not going to happen because the way we did the geometry is using a baked oil, and the oil itself, it's not smeared directly onto the cable, it's onto a silk netting. So this silk netting further on encapsulate the core. So in other words, the core is being infused with oil and the oil will not leak. Now, why we went ahead with oil-infused technology? Oil has been around for quite some time. But the reason why is because for these 2 products, we wanted to target a different signature. For the Aristotle, we wanted a fullermids, which we've tried a lot of material composition, but we did not actually achieve the kind of target sound profile that we wanted. For Aristotle, for the Euclid, what we really wanted was a big sound. So for that itself, we had to use a lot of different geometry to test out. But in the end, we found that this specific oil-infused geometry works well for our targeted sound profile. So what it does, it increases a lot of signal transmission, reduces the skin effect by quite significantly. So for that itself, it reduces a lot of our guesswork taking out the guesswork out of the geometry planning. And then, which is why in the end, we infused oil into these 2 specific designs. For really high purity silver cable, during the crystallization process, there will be gaps within the crystallizations. So it's not a smooth surface. So this itself actually will cause skin effect, will cause a lot of signal loss. So why we did a nano gold coating is actually to cover up these pieces of defects within the crystallization phase. Because when we did crystallization for copper, it's less apparent in terms of this kind of crystallization defects. This time around, we wanted more experimental space. Now, when we talk about Sonnet of Adam, Azrael, Cassel, even the old Socrates, Plato, or even Laura is slightly better. We actually have a lot of limitations because with a thinner kind of cable gauge, there's much less room for us to work our geometry on. That it's completely not possible to do active shielding. It's not possible to do a coaxial design that we wanted. So this time around, we said, okay, let's not limit ourselves to just thin cables. Let's see what we can do with thick cables. Personally, I'm not a fan of thick cables because of my experience with thick cables is that the ergonomics it's bad, right? So for me, the first challenge was not designing the cable, is to make sure that ergonomics works before I design the cable. So we actually managed to settle that sometime early this year. And then we move forward with the cable design. Now with a thicker kind of gauge, there's a lot of more room for us to actually do our design works. With the Aristotle, yes, we managed to target a specific sound signature. It's a large mids, excellent for vocals, and the bass is visceral. With the Euclid itself, what surprises us, we actually wanted to target a rich sound, but highly detailed, a wide soundstage. But what came out on our final design, it's surprisingly, actually surprised us quite a bit. It's a really big sound. It's almost like a purgatorio of our headphone series. Aristotle, it's easy. Anything vocals. We did. Okay, fun fact actually for maybe Chinese and Hong Kong crowd. So during the design of Aristotle, we did about 4 to 5 revisions. We wanted a very, very specific sound, and we tested extensively with Michael Bublé, Zhang Xueyou, that kind of vocal-centric track, because we wanted a very specific vocal push through. So that's for Aristotle. So the easy part for Aristotle is anything vocals. It will perform really well. Now we talk about Euclid. It's anything that you want richness and the expensive soundstage. So it's a lot of dynamism. We talk about classical. We talk about opera. This kind of range where there's a lot of emotions. You need a big sound. You need details, and essentially a massive soundstage, and then that's when you want Euclid. But Euclid, because it's still a silver cable by nature, if your REM is superbly bright enough that you don't need the extra sparkle up top, then you might want to consider the Aristotle. So it's quite a, how do I put it? It's quite a earphone specific pairing, even though there's a specific sound profile for both cables. So throughout the past 5 years, we actually took a lot of learnings, not only from our competitors, from our partners itself, as well as from hi-fi cables. Now look at IEM cables and accessories within our line. We feel that it is a technology trickling down from hi-fi cables that we actually took learnings from, and we took it one step further. I think it's good for the industry because with that itself, both sides, hi-fi cables, IEM cables, we can continue to grow and bring across more special products for our customers at wide. So I've mentioned this couple of times before. Geometry does play a part in sound design and cable design itself. No one maker materials will sound the same. So the reason is simple, because of the geometry design between different cable makers itself. Now we talk about there are a couple of elements, like we talk about geometry stranding, we talk about the leads design, we talk about probably oil infuse, how many strands are they supposed to be within a structure itself. All of this actually plays a part in changing the sound of the cable. So over here at our lab, one of our everyday job is to lock down random designs, random kind of testings onto, we lock down this kind of data that specifies what will happen if we add one strand, if we twist the strand, and that kind of thing. So we lock down this kind of data, which we will use them exhaustively in our product design. So yeah, material planning, material structure itself is really important, not only to Eletech, but to every cable maker day-to-day job. There's still a lot of realms of possibilities in cables. The kind of combinations that we can pull up with, it's quite significant amount. It's down to the point where what we can focus on at the moment. So we definitely have a lot more in store, a lot of designs up there where we keep a lot of our prototypes design where we are not sure which one we will explore in the future. So definitely this year, because it's our 50th anniversary, we're taking out a lot of effort to actually work on some new breakthroughs, new products itself. So definitely look forward to that. So, and I hope to see you guys, the Hong Kong community, in the upcoming Hong Kong AV show. We'll be there. Come by to say hi, and we'll hang out.